Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. Dear Excellency Tukai Haji Muhammad Hasan Mutawakil Andallah SHMM as the caretaker of Zainul Hasan Islamic Boarding School. Dear Excellency to Associate Professor Dr. Abdul Aziz Wahab, PMAG as a Rector of Zainul Hasan University. The Honorable to Mr. Dr. Zainuddin MPD as a Head of English Education Department. And Honorable to Mr. Ivan Nawawi MPD as a Lecturer of Listening Comprehension. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Iftitah Hidayati. I'm from English Education Department. Today, I would like to explain about TOEFL Listening Skill 9 and Skill 10 from the Longman TOEFL Preparation Book. First, let's discuss Skill 9. Listen for almost negative expressions. Almost negative is near negative, but is not actually completely negative. For example, woman said, "When you able to pay the electric bill?" Man said, "I have barely enough money." And the narrator said, "What does the man imply?" The way to answer is we just focus on the last conversation in the second line. I have barely enough money. It means that he has enough money to pay, but almost not enough. Therefore, he paid the bill but has no money left. So, the best answer is C. The most common expressions are hardly, barely, scarcely, only, rarely, and seldom. Hardly, barely, scarcely, only is mean almost none, and rarely and seldom mean almost never. Now, I would like to explain some strategies for answering TOEFL listening questions related to Skill 9, which is almost negative expressions. First, listen carefully for words such as hardly, barely, scarcely, seldom, and rarely. These words are important because they carry an almost negative meaning. Second, remember that these expressions don't mean completely negative. Instead, they mean almost not or very little. For example, if someone says, "She has hardly any experience," it means she has a little experience, but not much. Third, when choosing an answer, look for an option that is true but nearly negative. In other words, avoid answers that are completely positive or completely negative. The correct answer usually expresses a small amount or a rare occurrence. By recognizing these keywords, we can understand the speaker's intended meaning more accurately.
TOEFL Exercise 9. In this exercise, listen carefully to the short conversation and question in the recording, and then choose the best answer to the question. You should be particularly careful of almost negative expressions. Number 1.
Do you expect a lot of rain this month?
It hardly ever rains in July.
What does the man mean?
Now, look at the recording script and let's discuss with me. Okay, let's discuss at the first exercise. The woman asks if there will be a lot of rain this month. The man answers, "It hardly ever rains in July." The keyword here is hardly ever. This expression means almost never or very rarely. It does not mean never, but it means rain happens very infrequently. Therefore, the correct answer is A. There's little rain in July. because this sentence accurately reflects the idea that rain is very uncommon in July. Why are the other answers wrong? B. In July it never rains. This is incorrect because hardly ever does not mean never. C. It rains hard in July. The dialogue talks about the frequency of rain, not the intensity. And D. When it rains in July, it rains hard. The man never mentioned how heavy the rain is, so the correct answer is A.
Number 2.
Were all 3 students accepted to the university?
Only John was accepted.
What does the woman mean?
Now, look at the recording script and let's discuss with me. Okay, in this exercise, the man asks whether all 3 students were accepted. The woman replies, only John was accepted. The word only is very important. It means John was the single student who was accepted, while the other 2 students were not. Therefore, the correct answer is D. 2 were not admitted. Why are the other answers wrong? A. The university accepted 3 students. This is the opposite of what the woman said. B. None of the students is going to this university. This is incorrect because John was accepted. And C. John was not accepted. This directly contradicts the dialogue. Therefore, the correct answer is D.
Number 3.
Did Mark do well in Professor Frank's class?
Mark barely passed the history exam that Professor Franks gave.
What does the woman mean?
Now, look at the recording script and let's discuss with me. And then, let's discuss at the third exercise. The man asks if Mark did well in class. The woman says, Mark barely passed. The expression barely passed means Mark passed the exam, but by a very small margin, his performance was poor, even though he did not fail. Therefore, the correct answer is A. Although he did pass, Mark's exam grade was not too good. Why are the other answers wrong? B. Mark failed his history exam. This is incorrect because he passed. C. The highest grade on the history exam went to Mark. This is the opposite of barely passed. And D. Professor Franks did not pass Mark. This is incorrect because Mark did pass. Now I will explain skill 10, which is listen for negatives with comparatives. In TOEFL listening, a negative word combined with a comparative form usually creates a superlative meaning. In other words, it expresses the highest or strongest degree of something. This skill is important because the answer choices often use different words from the dialect. Therefore, we need to understand the implied meaning rather than just the literal meaning. Okay, let's look at this example. The woman asks, "What do you think of the new student in math class?" The man answered, "No one is more intelligent than she is." Here, we can identify 2 important elements. First, the negative expression, no one. Second, the comparative form, more intelligent. Where these 2 elements are combined, the meaning becomes superlative. So, no one is more intelligent than she is means she is the smartest student in the class. Therefore, the correct answer is option D. When you hear a negative word together with a comparative, try changing it into a superlative meaning. Before answering TOEFL questions, we need to recognize comparative forms. There are two common types. The first is more, which is used with longer adjectives or adverbs, usually those with two or more syllables. For example, beautiful becomes more beautiful. The second type is AR, which is used with short adjective or adjectives ending in the letter Y. For example, small becomes smaller, and happy becomes happier. In TOEFL listening, these comparative forms are often combined with the negative expressions such as no one, nobody, could not, or cannot. When this happens, the meaning usually becomes very strong or superlative. For example, he could not be happier means he is extremely happy. So, whenever you hear a negative expression and a comparative together, think about the strongest possible meaning. Next, let's discuss the strategies for skill 10, which is negatives with comparatives. First, identify negative words such as no one, nobody, could not, and cannot. These words are often clues to the correct answer. Second, look for comparative forms like more, better, happier, or friendlier when a negative word is combined with a comparative. The meaning becomes very strong. Third, convert the expression into a superlative meaning. For example, no one is smarter than she is means she is the smartest. Another example is he could not be happier, which means he is extremely happy. In TOEFL listening, the correct answer is usually the one that expresses the strongest or highest degree of something. Therefore, recognizing this pattern is very important.
TOEFL Exercise 10. In this exercise, listen carefully to the short conversation and question in the recording, and then choose the best answer to the question. You should be particularly careful of comparatives with negatives. Number 1.
Are you pleased with the exam results?
I couldn't be happier.
What does the woman mean?
Now, look at the recording script and let's discuss with me. Okay, in this exercise contains a negative and a comparative. The woman says, I could not be happier, even though the sentence contains a negative word. Its meaning is actually very positive. It means she is as happy as possible. This follows the TOEFL pattern. Negative plus comparative is superlative meaning. Therefore, the correct answer is D. She is delighted with the results. Why are the other answers wrong? A. She is not very happy. This is the opposite meaning. B. She did not do very well on the exam. The woman never says this. And C. She could be somewhat happier. This is incorrect because she is already extremely happy. So, the correct answer is D.
Number 2.
Is Paula lazy as usual this semester?
She's never tried harder.
What does the man mean?
Now, look at the recording script and let's discuss with me. Okay, in this second exercise, the woman asks whether Paula is lazy. The man answers, she is never tired harder. This means Paula is trying harder now than she ever has before. The negative word never combined with the comparative harder creates a superlative meaning. It means this is Paula's greatest effort. Therefore, the correct answer is C. Paula made a strong effort. Why are the other answers wrong? A. Paula is always lazy. This contradicts the main statement. B. Paula did not work very hard this semester. The man says the opposite. And the last D. Paula could have worked harder. This is incorrect because she already worked harder than ever before. So, the correct answer is C.
Number 3.
Was it a good sale? Did you buy a lot?
Prices couldn't have been any lower.
What does the woman say about the sale?
Now, look at the recording script and let's discuss with me. Okay, in the last exercise, the woman says prices could not have been any lower. The sentence contains a negative word, could not, and a comparative form, lower. Together, they create a superlative meaning. The woman means the prices were already at the lowest possible level. Therefore, the correct answer is A. The prices were great. Why are the other answers wrong? B. The prices were too high. This is the opposite meaning. And C. She did not buy much because of the prices. The woman never mentions buying less. And D. The prices could have been lower. This contradicts the sentence because she says they could not have been any lower. So, the correct answer is A. I think enough from my explanation about skill 9 and skill 10. I'm sorry for all my mistakes and thank you for your attention. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.